Welcome to the Rimworld mod rundown. We'll be taking a quick look at what you can expect to see from Vanilla Races Expanded Pigskin. For starters, you'll need to own the Biotech DLC as well as the additional workshop content, Vanilla Expanded Framework and Harmony. Whilst not required, this mod does have integration with Ideology and Vanilla Traits Expanded. Finally, what you've always wanted, options for more ethical cannibalism. The Pigskin's overhaul changes the somewhat bland Piggy Boys into something far more unique and interesting. A base game Pigskin is very little more than a cosmetically different baseliner that's better for melee to medium range engagements at the cost of a cooking debuff and a sizable manipulation hit. With expanded Pigskins, you've now got two varieties of Oinker, the Boar Skin and the revamped Pigskin. As with most Races expanded mods, additional variants of some genes are also included for use in your own custom races. The new Pigskin still has the same strong immunity, reduced pain, poor cooking, nearsighted and strong and robust digestion combo as the vanilla variant, as well as the associated cosmetics. Vanilla Expanded adds in fast wound healing, organ regeneration, fast aging, extra meat, gluttonous, pork flesh, pig skin, coward, and gives them a little curly tail.
Curly, right, curly, right. No!
So that's quite a sizable chunk of additional genes, with a lot of brand new ones too. Let's go through them. Fast wound healing is what you already know from base game Biotech. It fits well with the Pigskins due to their brand new gene of organ regeneration. The process itself is initially very slow, working on the brain, stomach, kidneys, lungs, liver, or heart. Now, whilst it's impossible to live without a brain,
I can't ever tell which way is north on a map.
It's at the top.
I thought north was like up.
Up?
this regeneration effect does also work on fixing scar tissue, meaning that any pigskins that take a shot to the head and are left a little simple will eventually get better. If there are no scars present on any organs, the effect will instead regrow a missing organ, restoring the piece to 1 HP out of its maximum. It can then be tended and will heal naturally back to full condition, meaning that it won't take entire years for this to tick enough times to regrow a kidney or a lung. It only needs to happen once. Obviously, this makes pigskins ideal for those players that enjoy running organ farms, as just a few of these will reliably be popping out squishy red gold every month or so. The next gene is fast aging, with the variants of rapid aging and slow aging also included in the mod. Fast aging doubles the speed that pawns grow up, rapid aging quadruples it, and slow aging halves it. Remember that these genes aren't boosting learning rate in any way, so if you have a lot of piglets, expect them to grow up maybe a little less than ideal. After that, you've got the reason that you'd want pigskins to grow up faster: extra meat. The long and short of it is, you can treat pigskins like advanced livestock if you really wanted to, as this also plays in with two other genes: pork flesh and pigskin, meaning that butchering these guys is slightly less of a war crime. You're still going to upset the butcher if they don't have a cannibalism preset in the ideology or the psychopathic trait, but the colony won't be anywhere near as upset about making literal long pork meals and pork scratching duster coats. Pigskin and human leather have exactly the same stats for crafting, with the upside being that normal colonies won't mind wearing pig leather. The downside is that human leather is normally valued much higher. Supply and demand, I guess. The other side of these genes is that pigskin will treat eating pork as an act of cannibalism, so if your ideology isn't into that, you're likely to upset the other pigs in the pen when you throw their siblings back into the feeding trough. On the topic of feeding, pigskin also have the gluttonous trait. Whilst it makes it sound like they will consume more food, it actually translates to them simply being able to consume more food. Their hunger bar is twice the size of a standard baseliner, but their hunger rate is still the standard 1.6, as the xenotype has a standard metabolic efficiency. What this means is that a well-fed pigskin can go much longer before needing another meal. The downside of this is that they are far more upset by any negative food moodlets and are much more likely to have a food binge when they do break. With a colony that houses a lot of pigs, mental break spirals could see them rapidly depleting your stockpiles and risking starvation, which may in turn trigger even more food binges. At least with strong stomach and robust digestion, they won't make themselves sick or miserable eating anything and everything around the base. Just make sure you're well stocked. The final new gene they have is Coward, which increases mental break risks, makes them easier to suppress if you are keeping them as a slave, and drastically lowers the chance of any violent mental breaks, on a xenotype that's already predisposed to having food binges rather than other breaks. All of this makes Pigskin something more interesting to capture, maybe not necessarily something interesting to use. They still have a big manipulation hit from their trotters and don't naturally excel at any skills. They're amazing raiders to appear for cannibal and non-cannibal colonies though.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys!
Well, maybe not if you've picked vegan or something in your ideology, but they definitely offer a bit of diversity to your resource pool. As well as pigskins, you've also got boar skins now. They're made less for farming and more for combat. Whereas you'd want to cook the pigs, you may want to recruit any boars that you find. With a similar setup featuring strong immunity, rapid aging, gluttonous, pork flesh and pigskin, reduced pain, the strong and robust stomach, trotters, and poor cooking, boars step outside the mould slightly with 2 new genes and a couple of new standard additions. Firstly, they're given strong melee and slow runner, making for a more hulking, smashy vibe. They're given the new gene of Brave, which will force the Brave trait if you're using Vanilla Traits Expanded, which gives them better mental fortitude against breaks. They also have Ever Growing, which is why some of them seem to be absolute units compared to a standard pawn.
Oink. Oh my god!
Ever Growing allows them to continue to increase their body size up until the age of 60, at which point it peaks, making them twice the size of a normal baseliner. As their size increases, they also get stronger, more resilient limbs, peaking again at age 60 when their parts have twice as much HP. This makes for an absolute tank of a colonist, or a raider. If you can find a boar skin with tough, happy days. They'll be able to bounce bullets off their eyes and just keep going. And that's pretty much it. If you're using ideology, you'll notice a new choice in the organ use preset, which allows you to select pigskin only, meaning you don't have to become a total savage. You can run a colony that is just extremely prejudiced against one species that it sees as subhuman. Yep, just Rimworld things. Thanks for watching folks. If you have any other mods you'd like to see a full